So Willie walked right up in Tom's office. What's up, Tom? Tom tried to fire Willie just like he fired Bob. You know, when we were at the board meeting last week, you know, we were going over your evaluation. What valuation? I ain't seen no goddamn valuation. When did you have evaluation? I wasn't there for it. Did you post it on the board in the cafeteria last week? I ain't seen nothing. I tell you right now, I ain't signed this shit.
You know, people might just see at the end of the day a black man at the end of the day, and it won't matter how good I actually am. Like I might not ever be able to reach the heights in my career that I want to reach, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how talented I actually am. All they're going to see is a black man. And I really went there. I'm usually not that pessimistic. I'm usually a very optimistic person. I'm usually like a, we shall overcome type of person, happy MLK Day, everybody, by the way. But that's really the place that I went to, man. And that was the worst part of that job experience for sure. There were a bunch of things about this job, just as far as people who aren't very creative, making creative decisions. And so the creatives in the room feel restricted. What else? People trying to flex the fact that, that they're supervisors, even though more on the subject than they do. And basically overall, I was kind of in a position, when I was hired for this position, I was really excited because I was I felt very qualified and I felt very comfortable with what I was being asked to do. Then the nature of the job changed. I guess I'll just be specific about it. I was brought in to create content for tweens, right? For 10 to 12-year-olds, which I was very comfortable with because, as some of you guys know, I'm very active on TikTok, and TikTok has a lot of 10 to 12-year-olds. So I had a good sense for what kids in this age group enjoyed watching. Then all of a sudden, a couple months later, shareholders have a conversation with my supervisor and the CEO of the company, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, I'm being asked to become an expert on kids ages 6 to 9 because that's who we're going to be creating content for now. That was very frustrating for me because I know nothing about 6 to 9-year-olds. I know nothing about what's appropriate for 6 to 9-year-olds. I know nothing about what parents want their 6 to 9-year-olds to be watching. I know nothing about that space. And basically for 6 months, me and a whole group of people were creating content for a demographic that we knew nothing about. Not by any fault from our own. It was just that's what we were instructed to do, right? Another very frustrating thing was doing good work despite the adverse situation that we were in. Me producing good work and then not getting the credit for it. My supervisor would get credit for it. Literally, I would be in meetings. We would present a piece of work that I, contributed, 85% on. And then the CEO of the company would be like, good job, my supervisor. That was another very frustrating thing about that job. Making, a decision on something based off of, research and data based on, the 6 to 9-year-olds that I was, required to become an expert on, which is impossible. You can't become an expert on something in 2 weeks, but I did the best I could. I did all the research I could. I would make a decision based on this, and that. This is why we should do that. We go forward with it, a month later, for whatever reason, for whatever politic reason, a decision comes down from the top that decision I made needs to be changed to this because of a purely politic reason, not be. Are we back? Yeah, sorry, y'all. My lady was calling me. What was I saying? Yeah, so basically changes would be made to the content for politic reasons, not because of the not because of any research, or not because that's what's actually best for the content that we were creating, or the entertainment, that we were creating for these kids. It was purely for the like I said, politics. And then everybody would end up changing their minds on that adjustment, because they realized that it was a stupid decision. And I would just be over there folding my arms like, well, that's what I was saying from the very beginning. And when y'all were coming at me for not having a good attitude in the office, and then when I was having meetings for how I was doing and all this stuff, this is what I was trying to say. And so we ended up going with what I said in the first place anyways, but y'all wanted to do your own thing, and it didn't work out like I said it wouldn't. And you guys aren't going to give me any credit for that, or you will. You'll say you were right about it, but you'll continue your behavior of not listening to things that I have to say, because I'm sort of like one of the last people to come in. Like, people around here see me as an intern. And so I guess I might as well get to the reason why I got let go. So basically what happened was I came into this job thinking it was full-time. Little did I know that this job that I had was actually a 6-month internship, or I was being funded as if it were a 6-month internship. I didn't know this. I thought I had like a really, solid job that I'd be able to stay at until I got fired, or until I got let go. Obviously I wasn't planning on being fired, but that's what I thought. I thought I had like a consistent job that I would be able to stay at, basically, year after year, stuff like that. And then about a month ago, my supervisor calls me into her office and tells me that basically she took a gamble on hiring me. And she was able to get funding from this one organization, and she was hoping that she'd be able to get more funding from another organization in order to keep me. They weren't able to get that funding, and so I was being let go, and that was that, and I was gonna be missed and all this stuff, and blah blah blah. And the really thing that really felt condescending, I don't know if I should have taken offense to it, but it really felt condescending when she asked me to stay on as a cast member of the content that we were creating, because on top of producing some of the content and writing some of that, and producing and bringing in the cast and blah blah blah, I was also performing and dressing up in costumes for this content for 6 to 9 year olds, which is content that I'm not proud of, and I hope it never gets out there. I hope that never gets posted on YouTube or something, because I'm not proud to be a part of that, but whatever. And so I was in it, and so she was saying even though you're being let go, we'd like to keep you on as a cast member and sort of pay you a little bit that way. And I was just you know what? My answer immediately, at least in my head, was no. I'm not staying. This has been the most messy, disorganized situation I've ever been a part of. Absolutely not. Just no way. If y'all letting me go, I'm moving on. It was ironic because I wanted to get out of that job. I really, really did. It was a goal of mine that before the end of January, I was going to be out of that job. I would have found a new one. I guess God had similar plans to me, but it was just a little bit faster. And so I was let go. This past Friday was my last day at that job. And, that was that. That was that. And, it's kind of one of those things where it's okay, God, what's next? What you got for me next? Because clearly, you had me there, for a reason. Clearly, there was a part of me that had to accept that, and really, really had to understand what I'm coming up against as far as chasing my dream of being an entertainer in this industry. The good thing about going through all of that turmoil and those realizations and that pain is really realizing that I am the type of person that, at least for the next 10 years, I'm going to have to do stuff independently. The type of studying, the amount of studying that I've done, is really deep, and also just my intent with what I want to do with what I put out into the world is just so different from what the grand industry wants, which is I guess to make money, or I don't know what they want, but like basically there's too many people out there who make decisions not based on what's good for the audience, and based off of stuff that doesn't even matter. So self-producing is definitely going to be part of my DNA for a very, very long time. I always knew that, but now I know it to like an even greater extent. Like I really, really have to, take control of my own destiny here. Not worry about being given an opportunity, but really, really create my own opportunity. Like that's absolutely 100% the mindset I have now. I think I was like 80 or 85% in that mentality, but now I'm just like like full on. I'm a build this thing myself. So that's a beneficial part of this. And you know what, man? It's just like they say. When one door closes, God opens another one, or God opens a window, or whatever the saying is. I don't know. And I'm just like waiting to see what that other door is. But the other benefit of it is like for a little while. I think at least for this week, I'm going to be able to create some more content. One of the bad parts about that job was like I would be so tired and exhausted, and like I'm not tired and exhausted, but just like I would just be feeling it so down that I wouldn't feel as inspired to create content for social media, and that should be the number one priority. But I was just feeling so bogged down from this job that I would just come back home and I couldn't come up with anything, or I didn't feel like talking. That's the thing about me. When I'm not feeling good, or I'm not in a good place, I don't feel like talking with anybody. I just want to kind of like go to my room and be quiet and like watch YouTube videos, or watch movies or stuff like that, just to be myself, just to distract myself. So that's the great thing about being out of that place now. It's just like I want to I want to talk, and I'm feeling more. I'm not feeling as bogged down, so that's awesome. And yeah, I think I've gotten out everything I needed to say. I'm so relieved that I've put it out there, and like I'm talking about it. I've been wanting to talk about this like for like a while, but it's not a very good idea to talk about a place that you're working at while you're working there, because somebody could possibly see it, and then just like that you're fired. And I got let go anyways. One thing that was frustrating about being let go from my job was that I wanted to be the one to quit and walk out and be like, fuck y'all bitches, and then like walk out all victorious. I wanted that satisfaction, didn't get it, but it's all good. I'm sure I'm going to look back on this experience and see the benefits of it when God's plan for me has fully fleshed itself out. Just know that I'm working on some stuff. Just know that, while I haven't been putting out as much content on Instagram and TikTok as I would like to, I am working on some stuff. I'm working on some stuff that I'm very excited about. Obviously, I'm on the job hunt. If y'all know anybody out there who's hiring, like for media, or for social media marketing, or for entertainment, or for performance of some kind, hit your boy up, because today's day one of unemployment for me, so I gotta fix that up. Gonna apply for employee insurance. Get some money. Make sure that I can still survive and save up and all that good stuff. But yeah, y'all, that's me. Just yeah. That dream job was absolutely not a dream job. As the title of this podcast says, my dream job actually turned out to be a nightmare. Wasn't a good experience. Was the opposite experience of what I was hoping. Yeah. So is life. So yeah, what do we got here? You're a smart person, so don't worry. Thank you very much. First life that's not at night, I've seen. Exactly. So that's because I don't got a job right now. It's because I got let go unexpectedly and for bullshit reasons. But it is what it is. So Yeah. Oh, now that I'm almost done, more people are joining the live. But anyway, y'all, that's it for me. Peace out.